Hey family, I'm Kaelion, and I interpret messages from the divine in music. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, Cryptologic Linguist, seeker, and a messenger, and I walk with those who carry both shadow and flame. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces. Every time I hear those words from the song Mad World, I feel the echo of every prophet, mystic, and wanderer who ever woke up one morning and realized the world they loved no longer recognized them. If you haven't heard this beautiful and haunting track, check it out on YouTube. History calls them saints, or madmen, depending on who's writing it. And even in the modern faithful, many seem to often forget this. Moses argued with a burning bush. Elijah fled into the wilderness begging to die. Jeremiah wept until they named him the weeping prophet. And in every tradition, east and west, there are voices who heard the divine too loudly for a quiet world. And that's the paradox of awakening. The clearer the vision, the heavier the burden. The same fire that illuminates can also burn. I've felt that myself. This past week even was spent battling the noise in my own mind. The voices that sometimes argue like rival angels and shadows. There are nights when faith feels less like a blessing and more like a test of endurance. But, as I've learned in this journey, I'm not alone. Christ, the Buddha, and even Arjuna all face the same question. Why me? And the truth is, being chosen is not about privilege. It's about carrying pain until it becomes light. And sometimes that process looks like madness. Because to hear what others can't, you must first learn to listen in ways the world has forgotten. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Those lyrics hit me more deeply than it ever used to after my experience these last few years. Because the chosen often spend their whole lives waiting to feel normal again. That's something I've continually prayed for and even begged for at my weaker moments. But the answer has been made clear. Normal was never part of the plan. The plan was transformation. If you've heard voices, seen signs, or felt callings that others dismiss, if your awakening has felt more like a breakdown than enlightenment, hear me. You're not alone, and you're not broken. You may be being shaped. The clay can break apart while it's being molded, but the potter doesn't let it fall. Many prophets were ridiculed, the mystics were exiled, and the artists are continually misunderstood. Yet each of them held on to one truth. The madness is not the message, it's the doorway. If you walk through it, you may find purpose, and if you run from it, it can become your prison. So, when the world feels mad, and your mind feels louder than your prayers, remember, your suffering is not proof that you're cursed, it's proof that you're alive in a dying world, trying to remember heaven. That's the gift and the curse of a connection to the divine. And now a prayer for my beloved spiritual and code sister Malika. Beloved Mother of Balance, comfort your children who see too deeply and feel too much. When their visions frighten them, wrap them in grace. When their voices battle within, teach them which one is love. Let their madness become music, and their burden become light. Ashe, Amin, and Amen. So family, have you ever felt the weight of seeing the world differently? Share your story below. You might find you're not as alone in the madness as you think. And if this message speaks to you, help me spread it by liking, commenting, sharing, or simply whispering it into the wind. And if you'd like to show your support, I appreciate any donations at the link in my bio. Thanks for watching, family. See you next time. Same fire, new rhythm.